Hello and welcome to Smash Writing and Happy Pride Month. Last year I did one Pride movie review, and it was for the movie I believe it was called "But I'm a Cheerleader." And looking back on it, I could have done more. 4 weeks in the month. So now that I'm doing more reviews in general by myself, I figured, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do 4 Pride movie months this year, one for every week, and we're going to kick things off with Do Revenge. To be fair to me, I did want to do Fear Street, but it's like, we already did Fear Street. You can't do it again, despite my love for it. But Do Revenge seemed like it was a pretty good movie to kick things off with. So with that said, let's get things rolling, shall we? We open, we meet the Queen Bee of Rose Hill High, Drea Torres. They're even been announced they're even on Teen Vogue as the next generation. They're that high and mighty in the school. But they weren't actually from money like everyone else seems to be from this school. They've been self-made kind of deal. And kind of, not really, I don't want to say posing kind of deal. But they're very much put on a look of being worth more than what they are. Her mom had to work real hard to get her there, and it's basically a scholarship she's running off of. But she's doing quite well socially. There are a lot of people who like her, and there are some people who want to stab her with a fucking fork. She even at one point gets revenge on the girl who tried to say that she was shopping at Salvation Army by turning it around and putting her in that awkward situation of having to donate her entire wardrobe to the Salvation Army. Then we meet her boyfriend, Max, who puts together a firework display for her. This is later after the party's all over. They're spending some private time together. Max is pouting about the summer break and going to be missing her. And it'd be great if she made him a special video. So she gets home and makes him that special video, and of course the next day when she gets to school, to her horror, that special video has been leaked to everybody. She makes that educated guess, and despite the fact that he is claiming he was hacked, she punches him in the face, which lands her in trouble, because she doesn't come from money, she doesn't have the social hierarchy that he does. So it's all coming down on her. She will be behavioral probation. She has to stay no altercations with Max. And if she acts out of line, she can be expelled and lose her scholarship. And if that happens, she can kiss Yale goodbye. That's her dream, to go to Yale. And then, as if it couldn't get much worse, on the phone, her friends are pretty much signaling that they are going to be siding with him going into summer break. Enter our next player, Eleanor, who's on her way to tennis camp. Most importantly, though, she has Bearded Dragon. I believe the Bearded Dragon's name was Oscar nominated. And it's so very important that I get this right. Oscar winner Olivia Colman is the Bearded Dragon's name. I don't see why that can't be the best friend. He should. They should be the best friend. As you can see here, reptiles make great buddies until they're not. Obviously, he's climbing into my shirt. But she's on her way to tennis camp. And she's saying her whole life changed when she met Drea, who teaches at this tennis camp. She's an instructor there. And she's getting harassed because someone at the tennis camp leaked the video to everyone at the tennis camp also. And Eleanor finds out and tells her that it was Erica who did it. And Drea's kind of nasty to her, but she still gets her revenge by getting Erica caught with cocaine and getting Erica and friend shuffled off out of there. To rehab they go. But when Andrea tries to leave tennis camp, her car won't start. And Eleanor offers to give her a ride. And we find out Eleanor's story, that when she was a kid, she knew she was gay, and she made the mistake of telling her friend, thinking it was safe. But her friend told everyone that Eleanor held her down and tried to kiss her, turning her into this predator that no one wanted to be around. And it destroyed her confidence and everything else. So they each share traumatic stories now. Eleanor is on her way to Rose Hill this year too. And the person who did this to her goes there, and their name is Carissa Jones. So they're each sharing trauma and everything. They stop off for lunch, and they come up with the big question: why are they going to Rose Hill then? Drea doesn't have a choice. Her mom's a nurse, like I said, who's busted her ass to get her here, and if she doesn't make this work, all her plans are gone. Meanwhile, Eleanor is being forced here by her parents. They want her there because this is the best way to an Ivy school, and there's no saying no. After that, though, it's back to school time. We've circled all the way through summer break, back to the start of school, where Eleanor's meeting Gabby, and there's a moment when she's crossing paths with Carissa, and they recognize each other. So they still know each other despite all the time in between the incident. Meanwhile, we got a real awkward reunion between Drea and all of her old friends. And Tara, her best friend, is now dating Max, which is especially just great knife to the heart kind of deal. At a prep rally going on at the start of all this, pep rally. It's been a long time since I've been in school. I dropped out for the same reason, so I get away from all this bullshit. Max is the speaker, and Max talks about how painful it was last year for his privacy to be invaded, and the damage it must have done to poor Drea. Drea, can you please stand up? In her honor, he has started a club. The Cis Hetero Men Championing Female Identifying Students. Sweet Jesus. What is that? Of course, this is daggers to Drea. And Eleanor goes to check on her and finds her, feeling the damage from this in the bathroom. And the two of them have a talk when Eleanor makes the little joke of hiring someone to do the revenge for them. When Drea takes that and turns it into they do each other's revenge. You see, Drea has to do community service, and she can do it at the farm where Carissa is the head of. And while Drea can also help Eleanor get into Max's friend group and be able to get the evidence they need to show that Max leaked the tape. Eleanor's not really for this, but after a makeover, it's all wheels going forward. Eleanor is able to get into the group and gets an invite to a party easily enough, but Carissa is another thing. She doesn't trust Eleanor. So while Eleanor is at the party, Carissa is stealing her keys at the beach, but not before she meets and hangs out with Russ a little bit more. And there's clearly chemistry between the two of them. Meanwhile, at the party, we find out that Gabby is Max's sister. And there's a lot of chemistry between Gabby and Eleanor. And breaks her heart that she has to turn down a video, watching movies with her, because she has to go break in the Max room, where she finds evidence that he has been, Max is cheating with the Instagram witch. But before she can get the evidence of that off of the iPad thing, Tara and Max are coming into the room, so she's hiding in the bathroom. And we see that Tara is still actually sorrowful over what's happening with Drea, then she still considers Drea to be a friend. Oh, Max strikes out hard whenever he calls her out on this, and she leaves, and then Max spots Eleanor hanging out in the closet and gets a real manipulative-filled conversation with him trying to put on a whole new guise to manipulate Eleanor. So Drea is now armed with the key to the greenhouse that Carissa runs, but only Carissa is allowed in, while Eleanor reports that there is something, but she wasn't able to get the evidence. So they bust into the greenhouse, finding that Carissa's been growing shrooms and weed. So Drea concocts another plan. This woman's diabolical. She's planning because Carissa is going to be overseeing the menu for the class ring ceremony. They're going to put the shrooms into the food, drug everybody, and while everyone is tripping, they'll be able to get Max's phone and download the text messages themselves. And that plan goes off without a hitch. Pretty much, everyone gets tripped out. Drea notified I would say the principal headmaster of what's going on in the greenhouse, so they're able to connect it to Carissa, and Carissa's getting expelled. Meanwhile, they find that he's not just cheating on the Instagram, which he's got one from every click, and it goes back years to even when he was dating Dre. He's been cheating all this time, and she's breaking down over this, and Eleanor helps her through this and is a really great friend. They're not going to do the big reveal yet. They're going to wait till Valentine's Day. But the next day, she probably should have thought about this, because the next day, the school magazine runs an interview with Max and how devastated he was over the incident last year. The real manipulative bastard here. So she's going to skip school and try to calm down. She runs into Russ and spends the day getting closer to Russ. So we jump to Valentine's Day. Everyone gets the notice of all of these text messages he's been having with all of these girls. And the school erupts into chaos. And it's looking like it's going to work until Tara and Max spin the message. That all along Max is poly in their open relationship, and they're allowed to date all these other people. So the only ones who come across looking bad here are the women who are in the pictures. Just to really dig it into Drea, because it's one of those movies. They got a call from Yale, and she ain't gonna make it because she's been so obsessed with revenge. Also, though, someone sent the incident report of her punching Max in the face. So it's looking like Yale is out of the question. And now she wants revenge on everybody. And she knows exactly how she's going to do it. It's going to happen at the admissions party. Only people who've been accepted to Ivy Leagues are allowed into these admission parties. They're secret. There are no phones or cameras allowed, and pretty much people get high off their ass and do whatever they want. And Eleanor has been accepted to 2 Ivies. So she'll be able to get the address, and they'll be able to get in and get Max to finally admit to having leaked the goddamn video. The wheels are starting to fall off of Eleanor. She has a really sweet moment with Gabby. It seems that Eleanor, despite being reminded the day before, Drea, despite being reminded the day before, she forgot Eleanor's birthday. Max and company didn't. They throw her a massive party. Drea crashes and is pissed off because Eleanor has been ignoring all of her text messages, and they have it out in front of the house. And Eleanor even says, "You have no proof that he did this to you," and really just spikes the ball, salt to the wound there, and she storms off. But Gabby overhears it as well. And Gabby says, of course Max leaked the goddamn video, and she's super pissed off at Eleanor for saying that to her. That night, though, when Drea's car can't start, she calls the shop that fixed it, who tells her that it was a pulled spark plug, which triggers a thought. So once she gets the car up and running, she goes to the rehab center that Carissa's at. And this is where the big twist happens. It wasn't Carissa who started the rumor of Eleanor forcing her down and forcing her to kiss her. Drea started that rumor and forgot. And all of this time, Eleanor has been behind everything. She's the one who leaked the video to Erica at tennis camp. She's the one who pulled the spark plug, and she's the one who put the idea of revenge in Drea's mind. And all this time, Drea has been Eleanor's target. So Drea goes home to find Eleanor waiting for her. Great, excellent, fucking monologue here from Eleanor. And basically what's going to happen now is they're going to get Drea to that party. Dre's going to be wearing a camera. It's going to talk everyone into doing the craziest shit imaginable. It's going to get leaked. It'll be traced back to Drea, and everybody's going down. And to really make sure that her friends re-accept her to the group, she hits her with her car. When she wakes up in the hospital, Russ is waiting. He's pissed, not just over them framing Carissa, but her sending out all of those messages. When she won't turn herself in, he breaks up with her and leaves. And to her horror, Eleanor's plan works. She gets a message from Tara expressing her sorrow and wants her to be back in the group. Eleanor is starting to fall apart. Spending that year with Drea, she actually became friends with her. And doing all of this horrible shit to her and putting her through everything that's about to happen is starting to show on her. Meanwhile, Tara talks up Drea again, making her confident in herself again. And it puts her sights on Eleanor. So they arrive at the admissions party, and Drea exposes Eleanor as the nosy Nora from day camp all those years ago, and all of those memories come crashing back on Eleanor as everyone starts to laugh at her again. So she storms out, Drea goes after her, and Drea finally apologizes for everything she's done to her. And it looks like they start to make up with each other when Max slow claps his way in, being the enemy all along. He has found all of the text messages on their phones because they had to turn their phones in. And finally, he admits to being the one who leaked the tape because Drea wasn't thankful enough for everything he did for her. And he goes off, he's like, I'm going to expose all of this shit to everybody. But unbeknownst to him, Eleanor's wearing a camera. It has it all on tape. And they play it for everyone at the party, getting him thrown out. And then he will be expelled for this, and he's kicked out of the school. Drea confesses to what she's done in all of this. The headmaster is going to talk to Yale to try to get her back in, but Drea decides that she's going to take some time to figure out who she is before that. And her and Eleanor drive off into the credits. But we have 3 more scenes to go here. 3 more storylines we'll tie off. Drea meets Russ again. She tells him that she'd confessed to everything and she apologizes. They make up. Eleanor meets up with Gabby. Gabby's already talked to Drea and found out what's going on there. They make up and get into a make-up session at the park. And then Max is with a men's support group where he belongs, probably. And that's the movie. Do Revenge. This movie was fantastic. I loved it. It was so much fun. The jokes hit. I love the pauses between all the cuts, giving it a moment for Eleanor to look over, like a sly look from Eleanor, or a long pause in the conversation. So once you realize what Eleanor's doing, and you go back and you rewatch all those scenes, you're like, I knew that was weird. Something suspicious was going on here. The twist itself was perfectly timed and well executed. Because you were setting up that situation where it looked like they would just turn on each other because Drea is not getting what she wants. And Drea would become the real villain. I don't think villain is a strong word here, but she would be the one flipping around and going after Eleanor. But to find out at that moment that, oh no, Eleanor's been playing her all along. And this has all been a long con from Eleanor to get back at Drea. That was just the perfect timing to play that card. The casting was excellent throughout. You had the chemistry between Maya Hawke and Camila Mendes was perfect. It was so much fun watching the two of them bounce back and forth off of one another. well, even when they were friends or when they were enemies going at one another. It's perfect. Well done. Austin Abrams was the perfect dickhead, and Max, you generally wanted to see the worst happen to him all throughout the movie. Everyone, though, did excellent. And the best scene to really show that just how well everyone did was when everyone was tripping on shrooms. Because everyone just did the wackiest shit imaginable, and they all went 100% full bore into the moment and sold it so well. It made that scene one of the best scenes of the movie. It was well done. Excellent. Everyone pulled their weight and then some to really make this movie pop. I don't actually have any real cons here to talk about. Like I said, the story was well paced, it was well told and delivered, the twist was excellent, the character work and the execution from all the actors was on point. Let's give it an A+. Start off Pride Month with an A+. How's that? That sounds pretty good for me. Alright then, without any further ado, have a good day, evening, night, afternoon, wherever you are when you watch this. Have a good one. And as always, bye-bye.